Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday evening. So here we go with one of these. Tonight we're going to be painting just two models. I have a commission that has a lot of different parts to it. It's actually like 10 models across 4 different gaming systems. So interesting, to say the least. But yeah, tonight we're going to be painting some Malifaux. So we are painting these Kabuki warriors who have white skin. They have white skin. And what I did right now just after priming was I went ahead and hit them with a very thin down coat of Space Wolf Gray. So you can see it's going to leave their skin super gray, but it's also going to give them a little bit of shadow, just enough to kind of define things so that we can find our way around the model here. But what we're going to have to do now is we have to paint some red. We're going to have to paint the eyes in, which actually there isn't much for eyes on these models. They're super tiny. So we're going to paint eyes in just a little bit, and then we're going to paint in the they have kind of like a striped body paint that they have. It's like squiggly red lines over most of their body. So now let's go ahead and get going with that. And yeah, I'm just gonna paint. We're just gonna paint and see how far we go with these two models tonight. And yeah, if you're joining us, just let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. And yeah, let's get to it. So we're just going to dot in the black for the eye here. Hope everyone had a good Easter. Hope everyone's Easter was fun. I had a pretty good Easter. My Easter was good mainly because we did pretty much all our Easter stuff yesterday. So today I was able to get in some gaming. And we taught Jason some Malifaux today, which was awesome. I've been missing the foe. It's a great game. It's a little on the complex side, obviously. It's not for the faint of heart with regards to miniature gaming, but I think it's worth it personally. I think you can get a lot of cool stuff done playing a game like Malifaux, right? The theme is just off the charts amazing. Painting the miniatures is amazing. Really, my one complaint with Malifaux is that it can be such a deep game and a deep collecting game that, you know, it's just you know, it's not for the most casual of players. You can get people to casually play Malifaux, but what I mean by casual in this case is people not interested in devoting a fair bit of time, because even, you know, I consider us playing to be fairly casual, but even then, even casual play, there's still so much to do with regards to understanding your own crew, understanding the mechanics of the game, looking at what to collect and how to collect it. These aren't difficult things, but they can be time consuming. So just be aware of that. And then the games themselves, they can run 90 minutes plus, depending on, you know, your level of expertise. And in fact, if you are too casual, the games will run very long if you never take the time to learn your stuff. That's what I'm saying, right? So anyways, I don't mean to sound disparaging about Malifaux, because it is one of my favorite all-time games. Hated 2nd edition, love 3rd edition. So there's that. But yeah, just a fantastic game. You know, I think the collecting and painting is at least as fun as the game itself for many people. So just bear that in mind too, right? Not everyone is out to be world champion Malifaux player, myself included, but I do find the different playstyles to be extremely interesting and fun, and I like to kind of be a student of this game. That said, I don't necessarily want to play competitively. I want to play things that I find to be the most interesting, models that I find to be the most aesthetically pleasing, and the themes that I think are very fun. That's kind of the beauty of Malifaux, right? Is, you know, you could lose every game of Malifaux and still really enjoy the game because you're playing a crew that maybe does something that you like to do, or you know, has an aesthetic that you really enjoy, and maybe that's enough, right? Maybe that's enough and I do think it's enough for most people that are playing Malifaux. I think that most people that play Malifaux pick crews that they find to be interesting, and whether or not they're, you know, winning every game or not, they can still have fun with how, you know, unique their crews are and how interesting they are and how fun they were to build. And honestly, as somebody who admittedly hates I hate list building. Malifaux is actually pretty nice for list building because you can build lists pretty quick, and adding models to a list is actually, like, these are fun models. Like, oh, I really like the way this one looks. You may pick, and now I'm just speaking for myself. I may pick some utility choices in my list, but so much of it is sort of guided by, oh, I love the theme, I love the look of that model, I want to put it on the board. That I generally have a great time with the game. All right, so now we're going with red body paint. And this is where this whole thing can go to hell if I don't do it right. All right. So I'm just going to slowly incorporate some water into this red. All right, I don't want it to, it can be a little on the clear side, but I don't want it to be too runny or too clear. I want to be able to do nice sharp red lines on the skin. And so get ready for some bad freehand, folks. Let's get to it. But yeah, been missing this game quite a bit. All right, make sure doing this right. Yeah, this guy has like tiny little red splotches. All right, so there's a red line going down his face here. And then there's like circle things going this way. Right, so you may have a band of red going that way, right, like that. You may have red going this way. And right? So you can see what I'm going for there, I think. I don't know, it may not show up as well because everything looks white on camera right now, right? Because we're going over a white background, and currently the model is all white. So, but yeah, Malifaux's always been, even when I hated to play it, which is second edition. I hated second edition Malifaux. Hated it. Disagreed with the design philosophy. Did not like the changes that they made to the game. And I can honestly say I really like third. I feel like third kind of brings back some of the complexity and the absolutely wild playstyles that you could get in 1.5, but it's not like absurdly imbalanced the way some of 1.5 was. Third edition really scratches a lot of itches that second could not. Mainly has to do with how in second edition, when the designers did not, because the designers of second edition and first edition were very different, and when the designers could not figure out, how certain masters played, they would just oversimplify them and make them kind of stupid, in my opinion, right? The example I always cite is Colette, who is my favorite master, so take this with a grain of salt or however you want to interpret it. But in second edition, she had a very stupid playstyle. It was, spam prompt and just get something on the board that had the best attack that you had access to, and then just spam it all day long. Hey, what's up, Chris? So there was that. Oops. He may have a little too much makeup on that foot. That's okay. So, yeah, that was an example, and it took away so many of her cool abilities in second edition. She lost all of her like really fun disappearing act and making doves and pretending to die and coming back and all that stuff. She lost a bit of that in second edition. She had some of it, but you couldn't play in second edition. If you wanted to play a master a certain way, you had to upgrade them into being, into trying to get to where you were in 1.5, and that was really annoying. All right. So getting these done. I was trying to figure out with this latest commission being across 4 different games, I was trying to figure out what order I would tackle this stuff, right? So at first, usually the way I do it is I'll tackle the longest part first so that everything seems faster. You get, it goes faster as you get towards the end of the commission. However, with us streaming tonight and me having played Malifaux during the day, I was like, well, probably the best choice at this point would be to paint some Malifaux so that I could talk about it, the game a little bit more on stream. So we're seeing all the red. I mean, if we're going to do red paint across the bottom of his foot, that's right. You never know. Maybe he stepped on the paint as he finished painting his body. So we get that. I know that doesn't look like anything right now, but that is part of the overall design, right? This doesn't look like anything right now, but that is part of the overall design of this, of the miniature. All right, so the next part. So now we're gonna start blocking different colors on these minis, and there are a lot of like smaller colors and bigger colors. So right now, I'm gonna block a really small color. Okay, and I'm gonna block with Plague Bearer Flesh. Okay, because there's some green and yellow in this particular model, and it's being used as kind of a liner. Right, so I want that there, right? And then I want it, well, hold on. Here we go. And I want some of that here. It's going to have kind of this whole area here across the blade. Right, and then we'll start off with this color and then move it, in some spots, move it closer to green. Right, so right now it's just kind of a greenish yellow. And that's kind of a nice place to put that. And then I'm going to make that part yellow, like actual yellow there. Forgot what color I painted the bases on your 10T stuff, Chris. I don't remember. It's been a while since I painted your 10T stuff. Probably the hardest part of this is remembering not to paint the skin color on these. And then I am going to go with the hair, I am going to go with like a scarlet color. Right. But we're going to, right now, let's get the basic colors color blocked. All right. Okay, so now while that's drying, let's get some blood scarlet down for the hair. Right. And I bet this little shock of hair will help us see what this miniature actually looks like, right? Because once you get the hair and the robe down, you'll start to see with the skin start to pop and all that other stuff. So you can see how bright that is coming down, right? Really nice little shock of hair coming down. this is what's super fun about 10T is there's no such thing as too bright or too shocking, I guess, with the color schemes. You can go as wild as you like. Right? And people just accept it. Ah, yeah, Kabuki warrior, sure. Nothing is out of place in Malifaux. Does not matter. You just put. Okay, Space Marine might be out of place in Malifaux, but other than that, you know, you just kind of say, you know, mixed with Western or mixed with zombie or mixed with samurai, and it's going to work. It'll be part of the, right? It will just be accepted as legitimate Malifaux, you know, theme, no matter how far out there it is. Oops, I need to get. Need to get that Blade Bearer green back in there for the back side of the belt. And this model kind of has a very pale purple for the main color of the robes. So we'll get to that as well. But yeah, you can see, like, it's starting to look pretty shocking. Shocking, shocking colors. All right. So now we're going to make ourselves a very pale purple. More like a lavender almost. So I think if I mix lavender with a little gray, I'll probably get the color I want. Or maybe even just like purple. Maybe if I just wash out some purple, I'll get the color I want. Right, so let's go a couple drops of that purple. And then I've been buying some really nice grays recently. See if I can find one of those that I spend the money on. Ooh, that's kind of a nice, that would be a nice kind of mix in almost like a steely gray color to it. That might be kind of cool. I'm gonna try that. Or try, this is actually probably safer. Mix in this heavy blue-gray. All right. Chat is awful quiet tonight. There's a lot of concentration. Whoa. Did I go too gray? May have gone too gray. Add more purple. Too gray. Too gray, add more purple. There you go. More purple. Come on, purple. Wow. That gray is just really strong. Do I need to drop purple ink in? Hopefully not. I do have piggy purple ink, but I'd rather not add it if I don't have to. There we go. Just a lot more purple. Let's just do that. Main debate was whether or not I was going to fire up the Batman stuff, but, you know, like I said, we're playing some Malifaux today. Be fun to paint some Malifaux. Just keep in theme. Plus, if you look at the colors on these guys, definitely look more like Easter. Easter in theme. As they have had diarrheas since Easter's. Do you know I have had diarrhea since Easter's? Alright. So a little catch that in there. One thing that's nice is against this sort of white primed backdrop, the colors are coming in quite nice. But I still may want to drop a purple wash on this. I don't want to do it if I don't have to. If the color is developing nicely enough and I can, you know, reasonably get a shade or a highlight in there without totally blowing all the detail. There we go. And the sheath is this really pale purple too. Right? It's starting to look like an Easter egg, kind of. With all the pastel going down. All right. Oops. All right. We're so quiet. Anyone watch Godzilla vs. King Kong this weekend? Do you want to spoil it for us? I'm not asking you to spoil it for us. I mean, you could, but you don't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't ask that. All right. Yeah, it's so pale. He's so pale. How do you... There's a gray. All right. Oh, I forgot. Okay. Let's do that. He is so pale, guys. So pale. Pale. Alright, so we got that. This is gonna go like that. Okay. Then we. Oh yeah. Okay. It's still. It's shockingly pale. Great. Now, honestly, he's totally. Hey, what's up, Sean? He's totally color blocked. He's totally blocked in. But like, maybe it's the base color. He just doesn't pop at all against the base. Maybe the base color is too reflective. Maybe. All right. Happy Easters. Thank you, Sean. I mean, I celebrate Easter insofar as, you know, we let the kids run around and pick up eggs. That's as far as we go. I did make us a celebratory breakfast though this morning of some egg fried rice and some Spam, which is fire. It was good times, is what I'm saying. It was nice, man. I know it comes off like I'm bragging, but yes, I'm just gonna brag. Just gonna pat myself on the back. I am pretty dope at making like 2 dishes, okay? I really don't cook, but I'm pretty dope at making them 2 dishes. And them 2 dishes are, I make a mean pancit and my fried rice, pretty solid. Last night, you know, talking with my son, well, the funny thing is my mother-in-law got me some Spam for Easter because I complained she didn't get me Spam for Christmas, because she always used to get me Spam for Christmas. So she got me Spam for Easter. So last night I was like, oh, we're gonna make some Spam fried rice tomorrow. I told my son got excited, and right, and so we did it. So I made a pot of rice last night, and then this morning we took that and did Spam fried rice, and I'm sorry, I did egg fried rice, and I did it kid flavor, so it was really kind of generic, and then served that with Spam, and my son really liked it. If only they made an E-Honda version of the Kabuki Warrior. Yes, agree. That's pretty, I mean, let's let this guy dry for a minute. I think, I'm trying to figure out what color did we do? Did we do the, I mean, we could do them Griff Charger Gray or Agaros Dunes or something like that. Or we could even do, I could even do like Archillian Green. Might be kind of hot. That might be kind of dope. I've been doing a lot of Archillian Green on the bases, and I think it looks pretty cool with these style bases. Let's try it. Let's just do it, right? Archillian Green. Let's do it. I think that's how I based your other stuff, Chris. I don't remember. I do not remember. But this should offset really nicely. Yeah, I think I did at least some of your bases this color. And this is going to offset nicely. It's causing a little grain raise on the, because it's MDF, but it's okay. All right. Does he pop now? Does his skin color pop now? Kind of. Kind of. All right. Cool. He's looking pretty good so far. Let's Let's move on to the other one. Whoa! What color is this dude's robes? Highlighting black. That's always a fun one. Kabuki Warrior 2. Oh, he's more red. Look at this dude. Ready! With the blonde hair. Ready. Dong, 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 dong. Is it bad? Am I gonna get banned? I think those are cool sounds. Does that get me in trouble with YouTube? I mean, that is the cool sound, right? Like Samurai Showdown, man. Tell me you don't love Samurai Showdown. Everybody loves Samurai Showdown. I love Samurai Showdown. Like, I would still be, if I had Samurai Showdown at my house, I still would play Samurai. I'd be playing Samurai Showdown all the time. Remember that Kabuki Warrior? There is a Kabuki Warrior in Samurai Showdown. Dang. Sunday. Boom. You won't get banned is the legit sound used in Kabuki theater. It is the legit sound. Thank you, Sean. I also really like Bushido Blade. You know what's so great about Bushido Blade? Is you only had to hit the dude once. Sometimes twice. But if you hit the dude in Bushido Blade, if you hit the dude with a direct hit with your sword, they are going down. There's no, right? Just like if you actually did land a direct strike on someone with, you know, with one of those swords, yeah, they would go down. But I really liked Samurai Showdown 2, personally. Samurai Showdown 2 was dope. Alright, and let us go ahead and do the yellow. Dong, 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 dong. I forget who I played in Bushido Blade, though. You know what I'm saying? I forget who my mains were in Bushido Blade. I know one of the characters I played used a Nodachi, but I forget the other. Well, I mean, I think you could, yeah, Bushido Blade, anyone could use any blade, but I think, like, some of the characters were better with certain blades than other ones. Correct me if I'm totally misremembering this, guys. Heights in the bamboo forest, yeah. Or you swing your blade, whoosh, and then like a second later, that bamboo slides. So cool. I always thought Jinjuro in Samurai Showdown 2 was one of the dopest characters, who is basically Haomaru's rival. it was kind of, that story is kind of like, yeah, I guess it's not, you can't really call it the Ryu Ken story where, you know, you have two student rivals that serve the same master, and one of them goes on the path of good and the other one goes on the path of evil. It's a trope, right? So, I, you know, most of us, or I remember really the first time encountering that with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and their backstory. But you see, you know, Ryu and Ken, it's, you know, it's, in fact, Ryu Ken is a little different because they didn't go evil, right? Just sometimes, like, I forget which character gets a little seduced by the Shadow Art version. I think Ryu, right? So you get Shadow Ryu. But they don't go like fully evil. But you see it in Samurai Showdown as well with Haomaru and Jinjuro. They were both studying under the same master, and Jinjuro was the bad seed, right? And Haomaru was the Boy Scout, basically. Even though Haomaru gets drunk all the time. Yeah. But you can tell that I really like this the samurai. I like all 10T is just great because, like, there, I know you can say a lot of things in the Malifaux range just flat out don't exist in other ranges, and that's all 100% true. You know, if you're talking about you know, all the various different types of zombies that are available in Malifaux, yes, that's all totally true. But let's not forget, let me do his hair a little bit more natural, right, to kind of offset it against the yellow here. But like the fact that they, you know, they later on came in with the an Asian faction was just amazing, right? Because there was always kind of samurai themes in Malifaux going back all the way to first edition, but you know, they took Misaki from first edition, who was really just a mercenary hire in the first book, and then they just, you know, they did indicate though that she was a princess of the Ten Thunders. They did hint at it all the way back in first edition, and then, you know, when 10T came out, it was like, oh snap! Misaki went from what was basically an enforcer in first edition Malifaux all the way to master. Pretty awesome, right? Misaki used to run Misaki in the Victoria's crew, right? That's where you would typically field Misaki. But she was also a mercenary, so you could field, you know, you could hire her into any faction. Yeah, so his hair is this guy's looking a little more Vince Neil. Oh yeah. That's quite a jump. That was quite a jump, wasn't it? From Samurai Showdown to Vince Neil. Because of his hair. It's your fault for having that Vince Neil hair. That Vince Neil hair. Bow! Yeah! So, Sean, I did play the Rasputina starter set today. And I do feel that Rasputina does kind of have, I would say she kind of has a lower overall power ceiling versus some other masters, but I also felt like she's a little bit better than people let on, right? I still have some hope for Rasputina, and it was super fun. I got to play, that Rasputina crew that Lex painted for me, and that was super cool. Um, and yeah, but just playing with the starter set, like I was hurting for stuff. I was like, man, I don't have a silent one. I don't have a Blessed of December. I don't have a lot of that tech. I even like, me personally, I even like Ice Dancers. Yes, I even like Ice Dancers. And I'm planning on getting some Ice Dancers for that crew. But not only are they amazing models, but I think they're great in a Rasputina crew. I know, I'm probably in the minority here that, speaking that way, but I ain't gonna lie, that's how I feel, man. There's like pretty good. I feel like Ice Dancers are kind of dope. I've always been a fan of Ice Dancers. I used to field Ice Dancers with Colette for fun, even though they really don't add anything to Colette's crew at all. Right? They're really more for Rasputina. They give her speedy objective runners. All right, good night, Sean. Thanks for popping in, dude. Wow. Yeah. Um, did I might have ruined this miniature for Chris. If you, Chris is gonna put it on the board, and we're gonna be like, "Oh yeah!" Vince Neil activates. I didn't mean it. I was just kidding. All right. So I guess his outfit is pretty red. So we're gonna go with we'll go with Blood Angels red for this. I'm sorry if I make myself laugh at Vince Neil. All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just it was just a weird thing. I started to paint his hair, started to come in a certain hue, right? And that's exactly what I saw. Yeah, this red is great. It's such a great offset to the rest of the mini. I like it way better than the pale purple of the other model. More like pale lavender. It's not even really a purple. Now, one thing I have to watch out for is these contrast paints will pull back on themselves, so you have to watch that. Oops, and I missed a patch of hair right there. So I gotta get back in and do that. And then when we get to a nice spot here, maybe we'll look at their cards a little bit so I could complain about how good they are. They're an 8-point minion though, so I can't complain that much. At least they're high costed. And you see how I'm coming in with the red like this? Some people are flat out very intimidated to go in with a color like that, to go in that sharply with a color. And I get it, right? Because it's a little dicey to do that. But it does make for an extremely nice effect. Especially with all the folds on this model, on the, you know. Ooh, starting to, my tip is starting to split. You gotta be careful. So quiet. So quiet. It's okay. So probably what I'm thinking is probably the next thing for me to work on is maybe I'll work on Batman stuff. Yeah. Work on the Batman stuff after this. Oh, I'm not sure who that free agent is that you included. The guy with the pole. I'll have to figure it out. All right. All right. Very cool looking mini so far. Oh, that's not good. Okay, just trying to get, it's like impossible to get some of these angles down underneath the kilts here. Impossible. All right. It's pretty good. I don't think I can get all of that. I can't get down in there. Okay. Ooh, wow, that thing really did pull back. There you go. I love that. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. What's up, Placebo Pete? What's up, man? How you been, dude? Dude, dude, dude. Whoa! He's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. Sunday, boom. Oh, pretty dope. Okay, let's get that right there. Ooh. Whoa, a little too much. A little too much. All right, I can fix that. There we go. All right, cool. Boom. And then we're gonna do some. How'd your Blood Bowl league go? Yeah. Let's weave in some green, right? Oh, that's nice. Just weave in a little. I mean, undead streak. Oh, undefeated streak. Nice. What team you coaching? Yes. All right. They're looking pretty good. All right. And let's move over to is that Arcalian green? The weird thing about these bases is I really don't have any good way of getting them to pop short of just paying different or painting different tiles, different colors. I think I may have edge highlighted some of these. I don't remember. Are you playing Nurgle? Oh, Nurgle's such a strong team. They start off like crap, but that's all like most Chaos teams. But that denial game, so strong. You don't have to worry about, I mean, stuff gets expensive, but you don't have to worry about injuries too much. All right. Okay, let's do a little bit of shading on this dude's hair. The dude who is not Vince Neil. Just give him. So I love how these particular washes work. As you can see, it's keeping that hair as bright as ever, but provides a nice little shade. I like that. I like it. All right, and let's go ahead and highlight the sword a little bit. Rotters have decay, so injuries can be a problem, but it's been alright. Yeah. Well, I mean, they even... I feel like it... I know you guys aren't playing the new Blood Bowl rules, but I feel like the new Blood Bowl, there's like no agility teams, which is really bad for that game. You need agility teams to try to keep the bashy teams honest, right? Because bashy teams, it's like, I walk up and bash. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna walk up and bash too. And there's not, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I caged and then you caged, and I bashed and you bashed, and then I rolled an injury and you didn't get injured, but I got injured and I lost. Like I don't. There's some of those games, they get that way after a while, and you're like, dude, whatever happened to the dope teams that could pass in crazy ways, and like, you know, you give them any sort of opening and they will find a way. But yeah, well, the main thing that they changed was passing is now a separate skill versus your agility. So, right, so a grot can throw a ball. The average grot can throw a ball as well as the average elf, right? Unless you're that positional, right? So then that begs the question, okay, so what do pro elves do? If you don't have, in pro elves, your stats are, your guys are so soft and they're so expensive that unless every player is a potential deep threat and a quarterback, what do you really have? They can't bash anybody. They're not going to survive any sort of head-on collision with anybody. What do you have? Right? Is it even... You have to be out of your mind to play that now. Right? And I heard people defending it. Oh, it's even easier now. No, it's not. You just give it to your thrower. Yeah, you have one guy. You have one elf that can throw the ball. Guess what? Get that elf on the ground just like you would any war dancer and foul the shit out of him. And then now you have no playstyle. You've always viewed Ag teams as way stronger teams. They definitely can be, right? Because like Skaven, Wood Elves, those teams could one-turn touchdown very reliably. And I get that that was a problem. But I think that, you know, they took the chainsaw instead of the scalpel in this case. And it hurt all of those other middling teams, the ones that... you know, the teams that I like to play, I'm being honest with you, teams that I like to play that weren't just, oh, one-turn touchdown, one-turn touchdown. You know, I like to play pro elves, I like to play high elves. You know, they weren't bashy teams, but they weren't exactly, you know, they weren't exactly like these touchdown wonders. You actually had to play kind of a hybrid style. Like you had to keep the opponent, you had to keep the opponent honest, and when you found your opening, you play 2 to 3, maybe 4 turns, and if your opponent failed a particular blocking scheme, then you can take advantage of that. But if your opponent caught you, and you know, if they catch you flat-footed out of your cage, then you're dead. Right? Those are the teams that I used to like to play. But you know, that's not. But now, like, what's the point? Why would you... I don't even understand who in their right mind plays an Ag team in the new Blood Bowl rules. I just think that game, they just straight up made it trash. I mean, I still think you can play hybrid teams, but unless your team has a strong, solid ground blocking game, forget it. You have no chance. You know, so I do think teams like Norse, I think Amazons can do fairly well. Teams with good running ground games. Obviously, I think Lizardmen become gods in that system because they're the kind of the, in my view, they're kind of the kings of the running game. I think they become very good, and then teams that were already strong at the bash game, Chaos, Necromantic. Those teams are very good. I feel like Dark Elves were always kind of an anomaly, and it's kind of a lie that they were a bash team, but obviously you play them like a pseudo bash team with a solid running game, and they had a pretty good reliable passing game as well that they could go to if they needed it. I just feel like it just hurt a bunch. I feel like it hurt the team specifically that I played. So I'm like, yeah, no thanks. Lizardmen have always been gods. Lizardmen they are definitely one of the strongest teams in the game, and they have been for the longest time. And then the other thing too, though, is I always felt like the dwarf stall tactic was just a negative play experience. And right, getting passed on and thrown playing the long ball against people may have been kind of challenging to play against, but at least you could take it out on them on the ground. But if you're a dwarf player, if you're playing dwarves, like do you have a passing game? Because they're just gonna sit there. Dwarves are just gonna sit there all day long. They're just right. That did not get any better. You just encouraged more people to play dwarves, in my opinion. So, yeah. So I feel like GW screwed the pooch when they got when they took Blood Bowl back, and I was one of those people that was upset that the community was like, "Oh, I can't wait for Blood Bowl to come back to GW," and I was like, "Really? Do you not remember the stupid crap that they did to Blood Bowl time and time again?" Oh, it's just gonna be great this time, guys. We're gonna get new product. Oh, yeah. All right. You remember that, right? When Blood Bowl came back out? What was that, like 5 years ago or something? People were all excited and shit, and I was like, they're gonna ruin it. That was me. I was the harumph guy. They're gonna ruin it. Just wait. But yeah, I can't believe that. Why did they? I think honestly, I think they do not. If you think about it, they didn't make a high elf team when they re-released Blood Bowl. They didn't even bother making new sculpts. They kind of put the list in the back of the book, whatever. Yeah, it's still kind of a who gives a shit about those teams. Like certain teams just fell by the wayside like that, and then they focused on other teams, and they've been true to form. Games Workshop, well, they want you to buy their new kits. So it's like, oh, we're releasing all these bashy teams. Necromantic, yeah, let's do that. So I don't know. If I am completely in the wrong about the new Blood Bowl, feel free to tell me. Like if any of you guys have experience with the new Blood Bowl that have played, LRB 4, LRB 5 Blood Bowl, let me know. If I'm wrong, you're like, no, actually, passing game is really viable. Blah 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 blah. I would love to hear about it. It just, at least from what I've seen, nobody is playing bashy. Like aerial teams, unless they're playing Woodies or Skaven or something like that. Been hearing such great things about GW again. Yeah, yeah, I know, and everybody missed their Necromunda and they missed their Blood Bowl and all that stuff, and I get that. I don't know. Was that real? I know that was the complaint for a lot of people who make the assumption that they want to buy lots of GW product, but that wasn't for me, I guess. Right? I was always just like I don't really. For me, GW is just an old aesthetic for me. I just cannot find myself interested in it. The universes are very boring to me now. It's just everybody's at war. Yeah, it's not interesting. Oh, then it's gonna be, and then this god is gonna, like, yeah, it's boring. Sorry. I wish. And then Blood Bowl, right? Blood Bowl was the tongue-in-cheek game. Nuffle. Right? Nuffle, that's a joke. People don't get, like, they don't understand the whole history of Blood Bowl, where they found an old NFL stadium and started worshiping it, right? Imagine them trying to explain that in today's GW. Oh, first it was dark, then it was grim, then it was grim dark. And they can't explain that because Blood Bowl is making fun of the GW universe. When they had a sense of humor, they didn't take themselves seriously, and not everything was 15-year-old emo angst. You know, you could have Blood Bowl, you could have Gorka Morka, and oh, this is so dark because they're so strong, and look at the spikes. And that's GW these days. So Blood Bowl, the way Blood Bowl was, and the way all that stuff was, right? 40K had tons of stuff that was just super funny and tongue-in-cheek and didn't take itself too seriously. So did Fantasy. Well, they got rid of all that stuff, right? And what was the ultimate, fourth wall breaking, tongue-in-cheek thing the GW had? Well, it was Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl was a direct parody. And, it was a lighthearted, fun game. And that does not match their sort of, everything is an angry emo incel in our universe thing, right? So that's, like, dude, it's so boring to me. GW stuff is so boring to me. But I know you guys hear that all the time from me, so I will finish there. But yeah, you get my drift. At least their Lord of the Rings stuff, like, has a universe that has, like, people in it and characters and things that I like. Right? All the other universes, they're all nameless, faceless things to me. Yeah, it's boring. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I mean, they got a lot of colors and they fight Kabuki things. That's what we did. That's what we do. Yeah, I think that's really gonna be it for painting for tonight, guys. I'm not planning on firing up anything else. And it's probably good anyways because I have to get up early. I guess I could have painted a little bit of Jessie Halliday, but meh. She is cool, but I don't have any explorers to run her with. But I really like this model. But Sibo, we've been playing some Malifaux lately. And it's pretty nice. It's pretty fun. Having a lot of fun playing it. And I always have fun painting it, as you guys can see. I never, even during second edition that I hated with a passion, I would still buy kits and paint them, and then just sell them. Fine. No one shall play you now. But yeah. All right. So we'll hang out for a few more minutes, unless you guys have any other questions, comments, threats. I mean, this is where we're at with these Kabuki. They're cool. 10T stuff is cool, man. 10T stuff is very, very cool. That's all I'm gonna say, right? So anyway, yeah, we're gonna call it because I'm actually gonna give myself 6 hours of sleep tonight and get up at 4:15 and go for a jog. So that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good one, guys. And if you're on Wednesday night, 9 p.m., catch it on Twitch. We're going to be watching some movies again. If Lex hops on, we'll be doing our little shitty movie contest. If she does not hop on, we'll be watching some Kung Fu. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night.